A South African man explained why the war between South Africans and Nigerians started. That it happened that many years ago, Nigerians will come to South Africa, do business and go. They will also come to Nigeria, do business and go. It was all doing so well until Nigerian guys started doing the highest bidder syndrome. The highest bidder syndrome meant that when the Nigerian guys see a South African girl, they will ask her out. And because of the way they see the Nigerian guys spending, they will just say they don't have a boyfriend. So one day they went to a club. Then the Nigerian guys are usually the ones that go to clubs. The South African guys they're not really a clubbing kind of people, just maybe a few of them. So they went to a club and then he met this girl, and the girl was asked if she had a boyfriend, and she said she didn't have a boyfriend. Meanwhile, she had a boyfriend. And then as she got into the club, before she got into the club, holding hands with the Nigerian guy, her boyfriend's friend, who is a male, had seen her and then told the boyfriend. So when the boyfriend confronted her, she said she didn't have a boy. She didn't do anything. That she doesn't even know what the guy is talking about. The guy now said, "Did you go to this place on a day like this?" She said no, that she was not the one. And the guy was like, "Are you sure?" She said she's not the one. So what the guy now did, the South African guy now did, was to ensure that he put close marking on her. Now he made three of his friends to stand, aside watching this girl, but she never knew that the guy was doing this because he had already asked her if anything of such happened, and she said no, 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 nothing like that happened. So the guy was like, okay, since you said nothing like that happened, no problem, let's just leave it like that. The girl was like, is he trying to monitor her? The guy said no, he's not trying to monitor her, but she should come out clean and say it. So when eventually they had a place where they were sitting out. While they were discussing, one of the friends of this guy came out and called her by name. This girl kept quiet and pretended not to know the guy. In fact, the Nigerian guy was telling her, "They're talking to you." She said that's not her name because, of course, she gave the Nigerian guy a different name. So the lady turned and asked the guy if they have met before, if he knows her. He said yes, he knows her. He began to talk that your guy, telling the girl that her guy is his friend. She said she doesn't know what this guy was talking about. So the guy now decided to plan with some guys to go there and pick the girl. The girl did not move. The Nigerian guy now said no, that he can't do that. He's on a date with her. They cannot just come from nowhere to pick her up like that. So that was where the whole problem started, the back and forth they were having. So one day, they had a kind of operation, sweep those illegal immigrants. Like they did something like that. It was like they were clearing the streets and all that. So that particular year, they were looting a lot of things. The white South Africans were not making it easy for the black South Africans. So there was a lot of looting that year. So the girl, as the looting happened, this girl did not understand what was going on because she had spent a night in the house of the Nigerian and did not know what was going on. So as it came out, people were coming out to find out what was happening. This girl met her boyfriend by the street, and then she was holding hands with the Nigerian guy, and then this whole matter started. They now started exchanging words and all that. The Nigerian guy passed. He did not involve himself in the whole matter. So the guy telling the story and explained that soon after that happened, most Nigerian guys were now more interested. It was a kind of, since you are daring us, we are going to show you. So they were now spoiling the South African girls with a lot of money. And that made the South African men to be jealous about what the Nigerian guys were doing to their girls. So now when they began to interview their girls, when they interviewed them and asked them, why do you love South Africans? Why do you love Nigerian guys? He said, we love Nigerian guys because they spoil us, they give us money. So it was not about anything. So when the same interviewer asked a South African guy, why are they always having these, squabbles? And he said that the Nigerian guys come to their country, number one, to take away their jobs, their businesses. They do a lot of that. They take away their jobs, their businesses, and they take away their women. That he won't believe that the most painful part is their women. They take away their women and brainwash their women to believe that a man must give you money so much money to be able to love you, as against the natural love that they've always known, that they can buy gifts for their girlfriends, but let it not be compulsory that a man must do certain things or give you so much money to be able to love you. That was where the whole problem started. So the interviewer asked the guy, is there any way, is there any other way that they can come together and make peace and live in the same area without having issues? He said no, because the thing has escalated into other areas that they don't think they can coexist. So the whole thing became back and forth. So the interviewer asked the South African guy, what about the girlfriend to that your friend? Are they still dating? He said no, they're not dating. That the Nigerian guy, even threatened to marry the girl, and he now was begging. The girl said she was not going back to the guy for embarrassing her in public and all of that. So that's how the Nigerian guy took over this girl. But the truth is that, did they end up marrying? Yes, they did. They got married. The Nigerian guy took her to Nigeria to visit the parents, and she was so in love with Nigeria. She said over time people have told them the wrong things about Nigeria, that since she came to Nigeria, nobody has asked her any question. Nobody has, asked her, where are you coming from? All of those, that it became so serious that the parents loved her so much. She said she was not going to go back again. So they're laughing and all. They told her, no, they have to go back to their business and hustle and all. The guy was into car business. He sells cars. The Nigerian guy sells cars. While she was into hair making, she braids hair very well. But the girl was really endowed. She was really tall and beautiful. So the interviewer asked the guy who was narrating the story, so now how is the other guy feeling, seeing that this guy promised to marry the girl, or rather threatened to marry her, and he ended up still marrying her? He said that the guy is not finding it funny now, even in his business, because the other South African guy, had made that life a living hell for him, and each time he has business, people want to go to him because he was a very popular car stand. That is always it's not always easy for the guy. So people now try to come into it, and that made it such that if Nigerians now are in that particular place where they used to play their different games, and maybe for men where they used to watch football and all, that these other guys will be like, what are they doing here? That kind of thing. They don't give them that reception they used to have in those days. That aside everything that the South Africans are against Nigerians, is the babe thing, where you have issues with babe. So the interviewer said yes, that he noticed that he thought it was just a myth. When people say girls are the reason, aside other things, girls are the main reason, he didn't used to believe it until one day he interviewed a South African girl, and she said yes, that Nigerian guys are always giving them money. They take care of them. They appreciate the way they look. They tell them more often how they look, and that kind of makes them feel so special. So after the interview, they asked the guy, will you love to marry a South African girl or a Nigerian girl? He said, well, that love is not something that love doesn't know tribe, love doesn't know culture. But anywhere he finds love, he's going to marry. But he feels that people should not buy love. That he feels that the Nigerian guys are buying love. That's why their girls didn't respect them, and their girls didn't have some kind of control. So he was not saying, well, the interviewer told him that girls, the ladies are not children, they are adults, so they should be able to know when to say yes or no. They shouldn't allow money to be a determining factor. You know, I said that's true, but that they should also know when to draw the line. So he thanked the South African, and the guy left. So the interviewer now said in a nutshell that he feels that the fight between South Africa and Nigeria is just very funny, because when you ask them, different people have different things they are saying about Nigeria. They don't really come out to really say, okay, this is one thing that is a problem, but that he has heard about the taking over some other person's girlfriend as one of the main issue. But right now that this guy had mentioned other issues also, but for him to have mentioned the girlfriend stuff, he really truly believed that that's one of the issues. So most times when people share these stories, they think it's a lie until they hear it from the interviewers and those people they interview, who do not have anything to lose. So they just say their mind and walk away. So we hope that both countries come together to love themselves, because there's no